Remember being a kid and there was always a new toy line on the shelf? That feeling is back. Alternation action figures, humans, hybrids, heroes for a new generation. Shop now at Pandemoni Toys. Ultra Maximus viewers get 10% off with code ULTRAMAX. Link in the description below. Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And jump over to Facebook and like my page to upload your video links, pictures, and join the conversation there. Click on the links in the description below. Hey guys, now follow me on Instagram at Ultra Maximus Reviews and Twitter at Ultra__Maximus. Links in the description below. Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another video, and today I really kind of wanted to sit down and talk about something in the toy community, and it's nothing huge, I guess, but it's kind of been on my mind most of the weekend. I saw a fellow YouTuber and toy collector post a video of knockoffs versus original Marvel Legends figures, and he was kind of comparing them, the original Hasbro version to these cheap Chinese toys that he'd gotten. Could you tell the difference? All that kind of good stuff. Good video. It was a really good video. But in looking at that, it kind of made me think that the term KO or knockoff, it's used a lot in the toy community for non-official versions of action figures. Things like Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Transformers, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Short for knockoff, right? KO. We use this all the time. But is this term being used incorrectly? I think it is, and even I have used this term incorrectly in my own reviews, right? And, thinking about it, looking at definitions, and looking at actual products and products of the past, not just today, but since about the 1980s, looking at toy lines like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Transformers, and the such, what the difference between a KO or knockoff and a bootleg is. So let's break down what that difference is between the two and which figures are in fact bootlegs and knockoffs. So first, let's take a look at the definition of each term. So first up, let's take a look at the definition of what a knockoff actually is. So a knockoff is an item that is extremely similar to a more popular item, but is different enough to not be an exact copy or counterfeit and sells for less than the original or attempts to cash in on a fad or a craze. So this means that the knockoff figure is not trying to be the original, it's just trying to cash in on the money that the original is pulling in. And this has been going on since at least the 1980s and probably earlier than that. Now, a great example of this is Masters of the Universe. Of course, they were one of the biggest products in the 1980s, and companies tried to, cash in on it. One of the companies was Sun Gold, and they made a line called Galaxy Warriors, and I actually had a few of these. So they very, very much mimicked the 5.5-inch scale over muscle-bound figures, and they just created kind of generic versions of it to sell in grocery stores or Targets or Kmart's or whatever. And, they sold pretty well. There was a lawsuit about it, and Sun Gold ended up winning because they were different enough from the Masters of the Universe figures. They didn't get in trouble. Another huge one was Speculatron, and basically same kind of thing, except they had like the gold sparkle liquid in the chest that made it a bit different and very interesting as a kid in the 80s. Another line that saw a lot of knockoff figures were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were so popular in the 80s, Everybody wanted to get on the craze. There were the Street Sharks, which there's a great video of Vin Diesel actually at a toy convention trying to sell the Street Sharks in an advertisement, which is really, really funny. But yeah, definitely interesting. Not quite the same, different animals, little different type of mutation, I guess. You also had the Battletoads, which were a direct ripoff or knockoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And yeah, they were more video gamey, I think, than anything else. But I do remember seeing some of these toys out there. And of course, you had the Transformers and the GoBots being the big knockoff of Transformers. So let's go back to our definition and take a look at what exactly is a bootleg and how does it differ. So a bootleg is a counterfeit. It is made, distributed, or sold illegally. This means a company has copied a product like a Transformer exactly or near exact and has sold it as if it were the original figure produced by the official manufacturer. An example of that is a figure that I just purchased recently. It's the Figma Michael Jackson Thriller figure. I bought this off of eBay from China for like $24. This figure's actually been out of production for a while, so this is undoubtedly a bootleg, and you may hear some fireworks going off. It's the day after 4th of July, FYI. And I'm okay with that because I didn't want to pay the $150 for this figure just to review him for 31 Horror Toys in 31 days. So, you know, I'm okay buying, you know, a bootleg every once in a while if it suits my pocketbook. Now, some bootlegs can be exact copies like this dog tool here, where it's just absolutely blatant ripoff of the original Marvel version. I also have a Spider Hulk here. Now, this is an original copy, but there are huge amounts of exact bootleg ripoffs of this being sold online, which, you know, it is what it is. And then I've got this bootleg Groot figure because I couldn't find the original Build-A-Figure for the longest time. And it's a pretty cheap replacement for it. It doesn't really work as well as the original, and it's got a light gimmick built into it where they put a red LED light into it, which is kind of interesting. Then you get bootlegs that are exact copies. I mean, they have the same mold, same boxing, they just change the names, that kind of stuff to play it off as something different, which, like with this Alternation Man, I don't know if that's actually the case. There may be a company bought these molds and just reproduced it out of China under a different name, but it's probably just a bootleg. And then you get exact duplicate type of figures like this Tiger Tracks I've got. You know, when I bought it, I was kind of sketchy. Is it real? Is it a bootleg? After owning it, looking at the box and some of the things that it comes with, I'm pretty sure it's a bootleg, but some of them are so hard to tell, you really don't know. I mean, you get figures like my Optimus Primal here. I know this is a bootleg figure because it had a different head coloration when I got it. I ended up custom painting it to match the rest, but the rest of the figure was exactly correct, which was kind of interesting. And then you know, you get what are known to be a bootleg figures like my San Diego Comic-Con Nemesis Prime. It's a gorgeous looking figure, looks just like the figure that came out of Comic-Con. I'm kind of questioning the color of the windshield, but everything else looked pretty much on point. And when I bought it, I knew it was a bootleg, and when I got it in hand, I could tell by the feel it just didn't have the same quality the original would have. And then we get bootlegs like this Leo Convoy from Beast Wars 2, who's an exact duplicate of the mold, but he's in different colors. I think I got this from a Family Dollar, actually, and the fireworks going nuts right now. And then you've got figures like this Ultra Magnus that 100% is a bootleg. It is meant to mimic the Masterpiece figures, and they even gave it its own bootleg Masterpiece box, which I think is hilarious. It's a great figure. Holding the figure in hand, you couldn't tell it wasn't a Masterpiece figure, but they never actually produced an Ultra Magnus. So definitely interesting, a great piece. I absolutely adore it, but for sure a bootleg. And then you get figures like this Nemesis Prime that I have. That's the evasion mode Nemesis, and it's not only repainted in the Nemesis colors from Optimus Prime, it's also die-cast. Now, this is something I got from Sir Toys, which they do have a lot of bootlegs and knockoffs on that page, which I buy a lot of stuff off there. I think they're fun. I like these. I think they're different and interesting, and yeah, I mean, you just got to know what you're getting into. So then that brings us into the topic of third-party figures. Most of the time when you think of third-party toys, you're thinking of Transformers, but I have seen a few third-party figures for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some Marvel stuff. But are these bootlegs or are they, knockoff figures? And that's a really good question. Now, third-party figures are kind of interesting because they're a bit of the gray line. So I'm going to use some Fans Project figures here. For example, my personal favorite third-party company. We got figures like Code X here, who is obviously a not Chrome Dome, but they changed it enough to where it's not the original figure. They don't advertise it as the original figure, and it has different transformations. The same goes with other third-party figures like Quadruple U here, who is basically not Weird Wolf, and then we've got other figures, like the not Mind Wipe figure, where they really kind of change it up, and there's some different things in these figures, not only in how they work, how they operate, the functionality. Like this guy's got a little coffin for his headmaster unit, which I think is very interesting, fun, very Halloweenish, and innovative. And this particular figure can walk around on its wings like an actual bat, which the original figure did not come with. So those type of things make a difference, in my opinion. I think that's very, very different. And then, like with the Black Widow figure, it's not to the same scale as the other Transformers, and while it's definitely an homage to the Beast Wars cartoon version, there are key differences in transformation and looks. And then you have completely different figures you never had before, like Positum here. He is basically the Optimus Prime. He's a headmaster, of course, but he's the Optimus Prime that turns into the alligator from the old G1 episode, where they had his arm and his head as parts on a Decepticon tower, and the rest they built into an alligator. We never had that, and this is a company that provided that. And then we get like the Glacial Lord set, which I absolutely love. This is an interpretation figure set of kind of the Predacons, except they're Autobots, and they're Ice Age creatures that didn't exist. Even the boxes are very retro. So these type of things that we don't get from the original manufacturers, I think that puts them into a different class. And, well, there you go. There are my personal interpretations of what is a knockoff, what is a bootleg, versus a third-party figure. Throwing that in there for fun. The gray area, again, I apologize for the fireworks, but it is 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys had a great holiday and enjoyed it and had fun and were safe. But, I think these are terms that people in the toy community almost always use incorrectly. We always say a KO when we're actually referring to a bootleg figure, but that's just actually not correct. We should be calling them bootlegs, or maybe even BLs for short. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you have any bootleg figures? Do you have knockoff toys? Do you have third parties? Can you give any examples of knockoff toy lines? I would love to hear from you guys. What's your favorite third-party line? Leave a comment down below. Jump over to my Facebook page. Join the conversation there. Upload your pictures of your bootlegs and knockoffs and third parties. Add video links. Join me on Instagram at Ultra Maximus Reviews or Twitter at Ultra __ Maximus. And as always, look for more videos in the future. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And jump over to Facebook and like my page to upload your video links, pictures, and join the conversation there. Click on the links in the description below.